Joey, when we're talking about, like, I'm going to list out a couple of different things, and maybe you can tell me
Sure.
which of these you think are appropriate and not appropriate to use AI for on a day-to-day basis. Presentation outlines, rejection letters, offer letters, job descriptions for job posts, data analysis. Maybe you have a blog post to write, something like that. Which of those things do you feel are valuable, and what other things do you think I'm missing? I'm just trying to kind of put people in the picture and kind of expand out how we can get those initial, those initial building blocks for whatever piece of content we're trying to generate.
I don't think anything that you mentioned is necessarily out of bounds for using AI in the process. The only thing that you should pay attention to from an ethical standpoint, or the primary thing you should pay attention to from the ethical standpoint, is that ultimately you are responsible for the content that you put in front of others. So whether you use AI to generate a presentation outline and it saves you the time of having to brainstorm, think through how your slides are going to flow from one place to the other. If you use it to think about how to frame an argument or to drive a point home or to set up a big idea, you can utilize artificial intelligence. And one of the big things that I like to do, for example, with ChatGPT, is you can actually talk to it like it's a person. Like you can pretend you're a coach. You can say, "Hey, you are a content marketer for a B2B HR consulting company. You are being tasked with creating an outline for a presentation that is going to be for this audience and cover this topic. Let me see what you come up with." And then it'll start to bring that information. But it's still your responsibility to review it for accuracy, make sure it accomplishes the goal that you're looking for. And you can always go back and refine your queries or ask it to regenerate regenerate its output. So you can absolutely use it for the presentations. With job descriptions, I think the big thing with it is just making sure that what comes out is edited, and then you place online what's been filtered through what I would call the realistic job expectations of a role. So, for example, if you were just to go to a tool, whether it's ChatGPT or another, and say, "Hey, I'm hiring for a CFO. Can you give me a CFO job description?" It's likely going to pull information from the interwebs about what a CFO does, and it's going to compile a job description for you. But it's your responsibility to go and evaluate that job description and say, okay, does this apply to our organization? If yes, go forward. Does it not apply? Then don't. So from that standpoint, for example, if it says, if one of the line items is, you must be great at leading teams, but you work for a small business and you know the CFO is going to be the only person in the finance department, then you don't need necessarily to need to be good at leading teams. You might want to replace that with must be a good self-starter and is able to prioritize and delegate tasks and ask for help appropriately. So it's making sure that someone said in the chat, use as a template but modify for your own use. That's right. You're getting you're getting a canvas that already has something on it. And I think as humans, we are better editors than we are creators. And so it just gives us something to edit. You had mentioned offer letters, rejection letters. Those things are inbounds as well. But you also want to make sure that you are scrutinizing it, because an offer letter, you're presenting legal information to someone. You're presenting their salary. You're presenting whether or not they're eligible for overtime or not. You're presenting whether they're salaried or hourly. You're presenting if there are contingencies that are required for their hire. So, for example, if this offer is contingent upon reference checks, this offer is contingent upon background checks, you've got to make sure that you are the final reviewer for what information is presented. And you've got to make sure that you are vigilant about that. You're vigilant about that.